male-dominated world of sport upside down. We talk this morning with Venus. Plus, how bizarre was Michael Jackson's comeback concert? And a Good Morning America special report. If you think your commute to work is awful, wait till you see what the other guy faces. We look at 127 million of us in commuting chaos. Good morning, America. We hope you had a nice weekend. A little discordant sound there, but it's okay. I'm Charles Gibson.
I'm Diane Sawyer, and it's Monday, September 10th, 2001. Good to be back from the weekend.
Yeah, it is. Nice to see you again. We got a lot of news this morning. There's a piece this morning in one of the news magazines which really has people buzzing. The first real inside look at the Supreme Court justices as they determined the presidential election. Emotions boiling among the justices as you've never heard them before. That is the buzz this morning, and we'll hear about that a little bit later.
And commuting hell is here. And for those of you out there in your cars listening to us on radio, we feel your pain, let me tell you. The average American is commuting 6,000 miles a year. That's cross country, twice. And the road rage, the traffic snarls. We're going to tell you what is going on out there. By the way, on a typical day, a mother with small children will spend 66 minutes behind the wheel, which is more time than they spend bathing, clothing, and feeding a child. So, again, it's a central issue in our lives, and we're going to take it on this morning.
And what was that other statistic I heard you saying? The average commuter drives back and forth across the country?
Yeah.
Every year. Although I didn't know we were a radio show. People listening to us on radio this morning? I thought there were pictures
Charlie.
had been married to this. Also this morning we're going to take you to 3 commuting hotspots. We're going to go to Atlanta, where 90% of commuters drive to work. We're going to go to Chicago, where high gas prices have forced many commuters to take the train. And we're going to go to New Jersey. We're going to follow a typical commuter as he makes his way from his home to his office in Manhattan. Mike Wjla faces a 124-mile round trip every day, sacrificing that extra morning time with his wife and kids. There they are on the front lawn in Bridgewater, New Jersey. You can hear us, Mike?
Good morning.
Yes, I can.
Now
Good morning, Charlie.
You're actually leaving a little bit later for work today than normal, right?
I am. I'm leaving a little bit later.
All right.
But we're going to be pretty much hellish.
We're going to start a clock on you as you leave Bridgewater, New Jersey, and we're going to follow you right on through. You've got a cell phone to talk to us. We've got cameras on you. We'll follow you. Good luck.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Kiss the boys goodbye, and off to work he goes.
And also on the show this morning, we have a lot of big personalities, just Mike there. We're going to talk to A.J. McElwain of the Backstreet Boys. As we know, he's starting anew after his much-publicized battle with depression and alcohol. We'll hear what he has to say. And who concerned audiences the most at the Michael Jackson tribute? Was it what Marlon Brando said? Was it what Whitney Houston, how she looked? And was it how Michael Jackson performed? We'll bring you a report.
But first, we're going to go to the ABC News desk, get the rest of the morning headlines.
Good morning, Charlie, and good morning to all of you. The Florida election that put George W. Bush in the White House is still making headlines. According to a new book by Newsweek reporter David Kaplan, Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer angrily denounced the court's decision as, quote, the most outrageous, indefensible thing the court has ever done. And Kaplan says another dissenter, David Souter, believes the court could well have gone the other way, telling a group of students he could have swayed Justice Anthony Kennedy if he had one more day to make his case. Global investors are bracing for a fresh slew of U.S. economic reports this week. Last week's unexpected sharp increase in unemployment sent world markets tumbling and fueled fears that the world economy is on the edge of a recession. In Washington, both Republicans and Democrats say something needs to be done, but that's where the agreement ends.
We're going to have to look at all the options. But again, I think it's important that we look to the president for leadership, that we look to the president for his guidance and his ideas. It's his budget, it's his economy, it's his tax cut, it's his solution.
Senator National Democrats are in the majority in the Senate. They have a responsibility not to just stand back and throw stones. They have to have some suggestions.
White House officials say the president's #1 priority has shifted from education to the economy. The second massive Sacramento manhunt in less than 2 weeks ended with a shootout and a suicide overnight. A security guard wanted for killing 5 people over the weekend shot and killed himself as police closed in. ABC's David Wright has the details.
Police had pinned Joseph Ferguson down early this morning in Rancho Cordova, about 5 miles east of Sacramento. Authorities say they were attempting to take him into custody when he shot at a California Highway Patrol officer and eventually took his own life.
His message was that he was going to shoot it out with the police officers. He was prepared that if along the way he was wounded and bleeding, he was going to commit suicide.
Ferguson was suspended last week from his job at Burns Security. Police say Ferguson shot 2 female security guards Saturday night. One was his former girlfriend. He then allegedly killed 2 men at a local marina. Early last night, police say, Ferguson struck again, killing a 5th victim and stealing his car. The midnight shootout this morning ends Sacramento's 2nd mass murder in less than a month. Just 3 weeks ago, Nikolai Soltis allegedly killed 6 members of his family. Police say during his rampage on Saturday, Ferguson actually called some of his former co-workers by cell phone, telling them he planned to outdo Soltis and he was coming to kill them. David Wright, ABC News.
Finally, San Francisco's Barry Bonds made baseball history yesterday. He hit his 61st, 62nd, and 63rd home runs to break Roger Maris's record for most homers in a season by a left-hander. Bonds has 18 games left to beat Mark McGwire's record of 70. That's a look at our headlines at 7:06. Time now for the weather and Tony Perkins. Hi, Tony.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. Want to tell you about our first hurricane of the season. It is Hurricane Erin, brushed by Bermuda, bringing tropical storm-strength winds to Bermuda and heavy rain. It is moving north of Bermuda now. Maximum sustained winds 120 miles an hour. It's a Category 3 hurricane. It'll be producing swells 6 feet to 15 feet along the mid-Atlantic and the northeast coast. Here's the projected path of Erin during the next couple of days, and of course, these storms have a mind of their own. We'll have to keep watching it, but we expect it to take a turn to the north and then move further out to sea, meaning it will pose no major threat to land, at least not in the U.S., except for the swells, increased swells, and the rip tides we'll have to watch out for the rest of this week. That's a look at what's happening with the weather around the world. Now, here's what's happening in your neighborhood.
Good morning. Mostly cloudy skies. We've seen a few showers early this morning, but very warm as you step out the door. Temperatures in the 70s, dew points in the 70s. Feels like a steamy August morning. But as we head through this afternoon, we'll break into a little bit of sun around lunchtime. From afternoon through evening, a line of showers and thunderstorms will roll through, so do grab your umbrella as you walk out the door. But those storms will move through quite quickly. Tonight, mostly clear. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. Very pleasant, 82. And then a very pleasant dry stretch for this ABC 7-day forecast.
All right, thank you very much. That's your first look at the weather. More is coming up. Charlie?
All right, thanks very much, Tony. Well, I think it's safe to say the event of this weekend was the U.S. Open final between Venus and Serena Williams. I mean, it was really historic. Marked the first women's final ever played in prime time on television, the first between 2 African-American women, the first championship matchup pairing sisters in more than 100 years. What's it like to face your sister in the biggest tennis match of the year? Our Robin Roberts found out.
I want the best for her, and I always want her to win. So that was the only bad part, that we both couldn't win.
2 sisters just 17 months apart. Best friends who developed their arsenal of devastating shots together had to turn those weapons on each other.
I think for Serena, it's just fine. It's easier because when she was younger, we always gave her way. We always let her win the talent shows. We always let her have the most jelly beans. You know, that's the way it was for her. So for me, it's a different position. For her, it's okay to go out there, but more than for me, I'm worried about her and trying to make sure she's okay.
What'd you all say at the net, at the end?
You know, Serena, I love you, and are you okay? And she said, no, you did great.
When I heard her afterwards, she said if she had won, she wouldn't have had as much problems about it, winning.
No, we were just in different positions. You know, I'm like the caretaker, and she's a taker. So it's just different positions. It would have been different if Serena had won, and possibly I would have been happier.
They'll always remember this U.S. Open, and not just for the final. Their father, so often photographed himself, has picked up a camera of his own.
He bought some camera equipment, and no going back now. So I don't know if he's a photographer now or a coach. I don't know what it is, but I know for sure that we'll have a lot of good memories coming when we look back.
Oh, this is my favorite.
That's where she looked. I said, Serena, you got to look up, look up, look up. And she looked up, and I got a chance to get that picture. And, you know, you can shoot all day, but you're only looking for one shot. This is my one shot I was looking for. I got it. Her ready position always tells you just about what Venus is going to do with her backhand or forehand.
So are you the father or are you the coach when you're taking some of these
You know
pictures?
what I try to feel? I really try to believe that I'm not a coach. I don't like being thought of as a coach because I'm very close to my kids.
Right.
I like to be thought of as I'm a father out there trying to help my daughters. And I think that's enough for me.
A father who doesn't enjoy watching his daughters battle each other. He was conspicuously absent from the family box. So to you, it really doesn't matter?
No, not at all, because whoever wins, I get the trophy.
Oh, you do?
I get the trophy.
How did he find out who won? Did someone call him?
No, I called him, and by this time it was 10:20. And I said, Daddy. And he said, oh, so who won? I said, oh, I did. So he had already done his job. Both his students were in the final, and that was enough for him.
And Robin Roberts is joining us now. As I watched Venus on Saturday night, and as I listened to her here, she's a little conflicted.
She says it's a conflict of interest because normally she wants Serena to do well. But when she's playing Serena, of course, she wants to win. So there is a real battle going on, and it's something that they may have to get used to because they could be playing each other again and again.
Serena was not playing well Saturday night.
No, she was not.
Do you think unconsciously, consciously, unconsciously, that Venus may have let up a little bit to let Serena back in that second set?
You know, that is what's being debated around water coolers all across America this morning. No, I don't think so. I know you're saying maybe subconsciously, clearly, consciously, Venus did not do that because it's tennis. It's like she said, it's not like jelly beans or winning a talent show when you're little. These are professional athletes. No, in my humble opinion, I do not think that is the case.
All right. Can we have a little equal time for the men?
Oh, hey, the men played too, right?
They did, yes.
Okay. Well, Australian Leighton Hewitt took home his first career Grand Slam title on Sunday as he beat Open vet Pete Sampras in straight sets on center court. After the match, he spoke to me about this most memorable time in his young career.
There's definitely a lot of great memories, but yeah, obviously I'll never forget that feeling of having match point on Pete Sampras in the final of my first ever Grand Slam and seeing that backhand return just go sailing and he couldn't quite reach it there. It was an unbelievable feeling for me. It was definitely a feeling of shock, that's for sure.
But his incredible performance was nearly overshadowed by controversy. A second-round argument over a series of foot fault calls led to allegations that he made racist remarks against an African-American linesman and his opponent, young African-American James Blake, yelling at the umpire. You can see the similarities. I asked him what he meant.
I was only referring to the linesperson. In no way was I ever referring to James Blake, who was sitting on the other side of the court. I just talking about the similarities in the two lines, foot faulting getting called up one end and not up the other. And that's why I asked the chair umpire if this guy could get moved to another part of the court where he could call a different line, because a foot fault is something where it's technique. It's not like a line call where you see straight down, and that's something that I practice every day on the tennis court. I practice not foot faulting because you're a cheat if you foot fault.
Hewitt, just 20 years old, said he's heading straight home to Australia to celebrate, said what that incident did not mar his first Grand Slam victory.
Well, we have a new star on the scene,
I think
although
we do.
Pete was great. The last match notwithstanding.
Four Open titles, 13 Grand Slam titles. He's pretty good.
He's just fine. Let's go to Diane. Thanks, Robin.
All right, for this Monday morning, we now have a news story absolutely central to our lives. Recent studies are showing that the average driver is being pushed to the break point, and we don't mean the brakes in your car. The average driver is spending 1 work week a year stuck in traffic. We're not talking about commuting. We're talking about stuck in traffic. So while millions of families have moved to the suburbs in search of a higher quality of life, a lot of them are finding they have a lot less time to enjoy it. And here's ABC's Don Daler to tell us about it.
The northbound connector all the way back to University. It'll be back to Lakewood. We're looking at close to 40 minutes of delay developing in downtown.
To get to work each year, the average American drives enough miles to cross the United States twice. 6,000 miles.
This is good. Let's get in the middle of traffic and go 85 miles an hour.
The average time spent in the car each day, for many, it's an hour and a half, the same length as a Hollywood movie. In fact, commuting has become our own private little daily horror film.
20 minutes later, 5 feet closer to work! It's not fair!
The traffic is mind-numbing.
But unlike a movie, commuting can actually damage your health.
Y'all, I'm sorry I'm late.
Atlanta schoolteacher Mary Anna Elsie found that out after a trip to the doctor.
I'm a nervous wreck. I mean, just an absolute nervous wreck. In the past year, I've developed an ulcer, and my doctors have told me it's get off of 400.
The 400, one of Atlanta's many jumbled and jammed highways. What's it like normally?
Normally, bumper to bumper, you're completely stopped on the highway. You might go, 20 miles an hour for a little while and then slow down to nothing.
That goes out to Mariana, Elsie, and everybody else that's coming in on 400 or wherever.
In cities across the nation, millions of people have moved to the suburbs to live like this. They set out to dream the American dream and ended up writing a national nightmare. Michael and Lisa Parks wanted to live next to a golf course.
And I knew that I was going to have to make certain sacrifices in terms of commuting when we moved there.
The main sacrifice, his 2 to 3 hour daily commute, cuts into time with his family.
My little daughter, who's now 3, I put her to bed each night, and one of the last things she'll always say to me is, will you be here in the morning when I wake up?
To avoid the worst traffic, Parks leaves home around 6:15.
What I try to do is maximize the time that I'm in the car as I listen to books on tape, and then I make a lot of phone calls.
But a recent study says any commute over an hour and 15 minutes is bad for you. Despite that, the Parks family will keep things as they are for now.
We moved there for the quality of the life and for my children, and I still think it was the right decision.
And even though he now lives on a golf course, Michael Parks finds he has little time to play.
Maybe one day on the weekend, I take about a 4.5, 5 hours and go play some.
So for half a day during the week is your time, and the rest of the time's divided up between family, commute, and work.
That's pretty much it.
The American dream.
The American dream.
Okay, so what are the worst traffic spots in America? Well, number 1, Los Angeles. Number 2 is Atlanta, where ABC's Steve Osunsami is standing by at ground zero. And outside of Chicago, 25 miles outside of Chicago in Arlington Heights, ABC's Liz Cho at a commuter rail station in Arlington. And we thank you for joining us, both of you. Steve, so how much is traffic and commuting a part of everybody's life in Atlanta?
Well, in Atlanta, traffic is a joke. So much so, the people who run the train and bus system put out a pretty funny commercial encouraging drivers to use public transportation. In it, a young woman stuck on the downtown connector below me is so frustrated and crying so terribly, her makeup is a mess. Across the country, there are 216 million registered autos, but only 209 million adults. So it is no wonder then that a third of all traffic is congested. This is especially frustrating for drivers. The AAA reports that every year there are nearly 2,000 incidents of aggressive driving, and many of those incidents go unreported. If you were to ask the average driver here in town about the solutions, carpooling, wider roads, they'll tell you they're not working.
Okay, thanks, Steve. And over to Liz Cho, who's standing at the train station. So what's the increase in train traffic?
Well, Diane, commuting by train might be a good alternative for some people. I just spoke with one passenger who takes the train from this station every morning, and he told me he loves the train simply because it's reliable, where if he drove every morning to work, his commute could take anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour and a half. Now he hops on a train, and 50 minutes later, he's in downtown Chicago, and he knows he will be at work at the same time every morning. And with the time that he saves, he can take his children to work. Now, he is not alone. Taking the train to work has become more and more popular. 9.4 million people commute by train every morning and every evening, and that number is up 21% over the last 5 years. The reason, commuters say they are just sick and tired of fighting the day-to-day rush hour traffic on the highways. Now they don't have to worry about how weather conditions are going to affect their traffic, and taking the train allows those passengers to ignore those frustrations, and now they can log onto their laptops or take a nap or even read the paper and take out some time for themselves. Diane?
Okay, Liz, thanks to you as well. Well, we want to turn once more to our own survivor experiment in morning commuter traffic.
Sure. Our one guy, our commuter, Mike Macchiarola, is all set to leave his home, say goodbye to his wife, Christine, their 2 sons, Bridgewater, New Jersey. Mike, that's how far now from New York you are? How many miles?
52 miles.
52 miles, which
55.
if you had no traffic would be about, what, an hour?
An hour if I'm pushing it, hour and 15 normally.
And
so I'm
what's
right in that range.
And what's a bad commute if you've got heavy traffic?
It's infinity. It could be anywhere from 2 hours plus, especially during the summertime.
All right, Mike is going to head in his car. He's going to head north, go across the George Washington Bridge, head down the West Side Highway to New York. We're going to keep a clock on him all during the 2 hours of our show. Get a typical commute this morning. Mike, we'll follow you. Start the clock, guys. And Good Morning America returns. Stay with us.
Point, shoot, create. The HP Pavilion 7970 with the Intel Pentium 4 processor. How will you use it? Save up to $250 by mail on the HP Digital Photography Studio.
He looks hungry.
Can't wait to eat? Think new Uncle Ben's Mini Bowls, like cheesy mac and cheese and crazy cartwheels and meatballs. Mini Bowls. Make hunger say uncle.
They're the worst team in the league.
You guys stink.
But they're about to get a little help from the last person they ever expected.
You guys will never be a team until you see it played right.
Those kids trust you, and they don't trust anybody. Got it.
Keanu Reeves.
What is it, Jamal?
Hardball.
You're not really trying to get Miss Wilkes, are you?
No, what?
Good, because I already tried, and she ain't having it.
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday in theaters everywhere.
Niacin!
It sounds funny, but packed in Quaker oatmeal, it sticks with Joe. So he has energy for any pop quiz that comes his way. That's one more reason to prepare for the day the Quaker way.
Words from heart and soul.
For a great car at a great rate, call or click Thrifty.
For heartburn, you know what's faster than Tums? Nothing. For heartburn, you know what's safer than Tums? Nothing.
Tums works fast with safe, healthy calcium. So safe, doctors recommend it for pregnant women.
You want fast, you want safe, you want Tums.
And coming up, everybody is talking about the Michael Jackson tribute concerts, and we'll show you and tell you why after your local news.
Proud to be on your side. This is an ABC 7 News Update.
Good morning, Washington. I'm Don Hudson. It's good to be with you. It is now 7:22. We'll have your traffic and a look at weather in just a moment. First, some of the news stories this morning. Prince George's County Police Chief John Farrell is being criticized for reportedly not keeping his part in attending some meetings with some county residents. Reverend C. Anthony Muse has been a harsh critic of the police department for its reported history of police abuses. Both men agreed, apparently, to try and hold some meetings with the community and the police force to fix the problems. Reverend Muse says the chief failed to show up Sunday and for another meeting last month. The chair of the Maryland House Judiciary Committee says that he is likely to block legislation that would actually allow for a civilian oversight of Prince George's County Police. State Delegate Joseph Villario says that he will not commit to changing the Law Enforcement Officers' Bill of Rights. Now, County Executive Wayne Curry has endorsed a proposal that would allow civilians to investigate officers, subpoena witnesses, and influence discipline. Well, start hanging on to those your loose change, because if you need it, you're going to need it for a payphone, I should say. Beginning today, Verizon plans to raise the price of a public payphone call from 35 up to 50 cents. The nation's largest local phone company says it's not making as much money as it used to from its payphones. Cell phones and calling cards are credited with driving up the cost because they're cutting into business. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll check on traffic and weather.
ABC 7 News brought to you in part by Commuter Connections.
Clemens had me work late.
Good night.
My carpool.
Hi, need a ride home?
That would be nice.
You're in luck. Because if you ride share or use transit and an unexpected emergency comes up, Commuter Connections guarantees you a free ride home.
Really?
Call 800-745-RIDE to register before your boss surprises you with overtime or your kids get sick. Commuter Connections will get you home free.
Great.
Register at commuterconnections.org.
With Weight Watchers, every food has a points value.
And now every point works harder than ever. Introducing Winning Points, the way to stay satisfied. Eat what you like and still stay within your daily points range. So you stick with it and lose.
Now, take it off and show it off. Enter Weight Watchers Take It Off, Show It Off sweepstakes. Win a fabulous new $10,000 wardrobe.
Now's the time to join Weight Watchers. For pricing and location information, call 301-770-4115.
Another birdie. That's why I'm the boss.
Richard Frank, Baltimore, Maryland. Were you aware your business owes the state $12,106 in employer withholding tax?
We were. We know everything.
Refusal to pay can result in fines, liens on assets, even jail time.
Jail time? Jail time. Play on.
Nice putt.
Maryland Tax Amnesty is your chance to pay outstanding state personal income and business taxes with no fines, civil action, or criminal penalties.
The clock is ticking, so do it now.
ABC 7 News brought to you in part by Maryland Tax Amnesty.
Welcome back, 725. Some construction on the Beltway tonight to tell you about this morning. The two right lanes of the inner loop are going to be closed beginning at 10:30 between Eisenhower and Van Dorn Street. The two right lanes of the outer loop will be closed between the Springfield interchange and Van Dorn. Both sections of the road will be reopened by 5:30 in the morning, but they'll be closed again for the same periods of time tomorrow night. Mickey Scarlatta is now standing by with what's going on this morning out there. Mickey?
Good morning, Don. You want to be careful traveling late night. Plan accordingly. Right now, though, let me take you live. If you travel southbound 270, making your way through Germantown, we do have heavy traffic reported coming out of Frederick near Route 70 and 85. And then over here at 118, looks like we have some wet roadways making your way towards the lane divide, but all your lanes are open, just slow goings. Now let me take you live to the inner loop of the Beltway near St. Barnabas Road. Not too bad over here, but the outer loop side near Route 4, earlier accident has been cleared, but we're told we have heavy delays trying to get past the earlier accident scene. Also heavy delays on the inner loop of the Beltway from 210, making your way towards the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. Now let's go to Alexander with the forecast.
Thanks, Mickey. We do have cloudy skies, some scattered showers around. It is warm out there this morning. Temperatures in the 70s and dew points as well, so quite sticky. Here's the forecast. We'll break out into a little bit of sunshine around lunchtime, but from afternoon through evening, a line of showers and thunderstorms will roll through, so grab your umbrella as you head out. We clear out, though, tonight. Tomorrow and Wednesday, mostly sunny and very comfortable with highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. A beautiful stretch ahead. Don?
All right, thank you very much, and thank you for watching. We'll see you again in 25 minutes.
ABC 7 is on your side
by making your mornings easier.
And it starts here with our Good Morning Washington promise. From the time you wake up to the time you walk out your door.
You'll get your full weather and traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 7s.
And in between, the latest news from overnight. What happened while you slept?
It's our promise to you.
Weather and traffic every 10 minutes on the 7s.
Plus the news from overnight.
It's the Good Morning Washington promise, and it's only on ABC 7. Proud to be on your side.
Quarterback Brad Johnson for Fitzgerald Auto Malls.
If you're shopping online for your next car, fitzmall.com is the only address you need. Visit fitzmall.com to see the MSRP, certified factory invoice, and discounted internet prices on hundreds of cars and trucks. That's the certified factory invoice and the Fitzgerald price, side by side. You know you're getting the lowest price at fitzmall.com. I'm glad I bought at Fitzgerald Auto Malls, and you will be too. Shop fitzmall.com and see for yourself.
Growing up, kids used to make fun of me, and when it hurt, I cried. Adults can be just as cruel. But one day, I stopped crying, and I called Jenny Craig. They showed me a way to a whole new life. It was in me all along.
Introducing the new Ultimate Choice menu that lets you choose what you feel like eating. Join now and lose 20 pounds for $20 plus the cost of food. Call 1-800-JENNY20.
Last year, when I lost 140 pounds, I hit my goal. And you know what? I cried.
You know how you feel when you get on an old vintage bike?
Speedy motorcycle.
There's this very freeing thing that happens. There's a great energy with leather and denim.
Speedy motorcycle.
It's not about being tough. It's very liberating, romantic, modern, and clean.
Speedy motorcycle.
What we've done for Target is make the collection really fresh and affordable. You never forget your first leather jacket.
Today, cable companies like AT&T control over 70% of high-speed internet connections because they compete under different rules than phone companies. Unless Congress acts, millions will be left behind or with only one choice, their cable company. Now a study says a delay in high-speed internet rollout could cost our economy $500 billion. Tozan Dingle guarantees access to inner cities and small towns and would add billions to our economy. Don't believe the static from AT&T. Pass Tozan Dingle.
Astrologer Howard Sheldon on the next Live.
Good things are happening.
Good things right here at Good Morning America. I'm Diane Sawyer. Look downstairs. Those are good things.
That's a happening downstairs. And I'm Charles Gibson. Good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. And in this half hour, Michael Jackson back on the scene.
Yeah, back on the scenes. 2 tribute concerts. Lots of people turned out for them. And boy, is everybody talking about them.
Well, it's interesting. Time magazine had a headline that said these are sort of self-thrown tribute concerts that he gave. And Time magazine had an interesting headline. These concerts showed why he's great, and why he's unbeatable, and why he's unbearable, in their words. It's interesting, and this was a much-discussed concert, as you said, for a lot of reasons, not just Michael Jackson. And we're going to show all of it to you coming up in this half hour.
And also in this half hour, in our music and music stars theme, the Backstreet Boys are back. A.J. McLean, we know, had checked into rehab because of alcohol problems and exhaustion. Well, he's back, and he talked to Lara Spencer, and you'll hear that, too.
And we are covering this morning, sort of throughout the program, what 127 million of you are doing right now, commuting. And we are following one commuter, Mike Macchiarola, who is commuting from Bridgewater, New Jersey into New York. He's on the cell phone with us in his car. And how's it going so far?
So far, so good. Just on the road right now, leading into 287 North, and it's already building up. So we're keeping our fingers crossed.
Yeah, we're hoping, Mike, that you'll make it to our studios, which is not too far from your office, before the end of the broadcast. But that's another hour and a half, and it's not for certain you'll be able to do it, right?
That's correct. I'm going to have to drive like a New York City taxi driver to be able to get in that time. But we'll do our best.
That is something to behold, if you can drive like a New York taxi driver. All right, we got 11 minutes and 45 seconds so far that you've been on the road, and we're going to keep that time clock going on Mike throughout the commute. But Americans are commuting further and further, longer and longer. It takes you 236% longer to commute now, the average American, than it did 20 years ago.
I love that to save time, Mike has signs that yell things at drivers that he doesn't like. He doesn't even bother yelling. He just holds up signs in his car.
Cut me off. Right. Anyway, we're going to continue to check in with Mike throughout the morning, but let's get the weather. Here's Tony Perkins.
All right, thank you, Charlie. For most folks commuting this morning, it will be a dry commute. Let me show you the national map. We do expect to see rain in the eastern United States later today. In fact, there's already some rain in the eastern U.S., but by later today, we could see some strong to severe storms develop in eastern New York into portions of New England, some thunderstorms in the southeast as well. Flood advisories in effect for portions of Florida and Texas, as we'll see rain there. Temperatures for today for most of the nation, highs will be in the 70s and 80s, a little bit warmer than normal in many cities. Dallas, you're looking at a high today of 86 degrees. That's a look at what's happening with the weather around the nation. Now, here's what's happening in your neighborhood.
A good morning, a very warm start to the day. Overcast skies. Do grab your umbrella. A line of showers and thunderstorms will move through later this afternoon and in through this evening. Stronger storms, though, to the north of Washington, but then a great stretch after today.
All right, that's a quick look at the weather. We'll have more coming up in just a little bit. Charlie, back to you.
All right, thanks, Tony. Now to Michael Jackson's comeback, because he helped launch, really, the MTV generation. His breakout record, Thriller, gave him the nickname the King of Pop. But now, after years out of the spotlight, Michael Jackson is trying to make a comeback. And the question is, can he do it? This weekend, he performed in New York City. Next month, he'll release a new album, defiantly entitled Invincible. ABC's Allison Stewart was at his comeback concert.
Michael on the end. Michael right here, right here.
An eclectic array of stars came to salute Michael Jackson at Friday's opening night. From NSYNC to Destiny's Child to Liza Minnelli to Whitney Houston.
To hide it over, to love to get under.
Even Marlon Brando.
He is just one of the best artists out there.
Michael Jackson is the complete master of all domains of music. I mean, all entertainment overall.
But the reviews were mixed at best.
Seeing this concert felt like you got classic Michael Jackson
were 2 or 3 extra hours you really didn't care for.
The songs have become modern-era classics. Baby boomers remember Michael Jackson this way. But some young pop music consumers think of him as, well, old news.
He's Janet Jackson's brother. He hasn't been around for a long time, so he's basically lost his touch.
And that's bad news, considering Jackson is trying to pry his way back into the pop music scene through a media blitz. New single, new album, an appearance at the MTV Video Music Awards. He even showed up to open the NASDAQ. Well, after years of scandal and some pretty odd behavior, not to mention disappearing from the U.S. touring scene for over 11 years, the King of Pop may have to fight to retain his title.
It's not that people have no memory or perception of Michael Jackson. They have a very clear one, and that perception is the guy's turned into a freak.
It's been 19 years since the release of his blockbuster album Thriller, and the years that followed took bizarre twists and turns. In 1993, Jackson was charged with sexually molesting a 13-year-old boy.
I am totally innocent of any wrongdoing, and I know these terrible allegations will all be proven false.
He maintains his innocence and settled that lawsuit, but it cost him reportedly between $10 and $20 million. Then in 1994 came his surprise wedding to the daughter of the king, Lisa Marie Presley. The marriage lasted 2 years. In 1996, Jackson wed a nurse, Debbie Rowe. She gave birth to Jackson's 2 children, but the couple divorced in October 1999. All the while, Jackson continued to physically transform himself. Michael Jackson has a lot at stake as he prepares to launch a new release this October called Invincible. And to turn up the heat on the new release, tribute shows have been scheduled to celebrate Jackson's 30 years as a solo performer.
One thing about Michael Jackson's Madison Square Garden show is it was a circus. And I don't really think Michael Jackson needs a circus.
While you can't underestimate the power of the legend, the music, and the talent of Michael Jackson, will it all be enough?
Get out there and remind people why they loved you in the first place. Sing and dance and do the stuff that you do as well as or better than anybody else on the planet.
Yeah, get out and do what you do, and that's what he did.
Everybody was there says that he was fantastic at the end of the concert, but there was all this other stuff going on as well.
Like what?
Like Whitney Houston, for one thing.
Yeah, Whitney Houston performed at this concert, and her appearance, I think, concerned a lot of people. She performed Want to Be Starting Something, and she looked thin.
You know, people felt it was really worrying. And as we know, we haven't heard from her in a long time, but...
Too thin.
Everybody worried.
Too thin. And Marlon Brando?
Marlon Brando appeared and apparently talked about genocide at some length.
That's appropriate.
Well, rather startling to the crowd, and as it was related to me anyway, people initially started sort of booing. He thought perhaps it was applause, then he shifted, then he engaged in a sort of argument with the audience. The whole thing had to be an event to remember at the very least, but it was quite a night of eccentric behavior.
But Michael Jackson is back, and it's great music, and it's good to see him performing again. It's 38 minutes after the hour. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Well, we've been a band for about 4 years now, but we've been a family for over 16 years. We've got pictures just from like when we very first started, you know. This was our first county fair. We take our pictures into Walmart because usually we're there anyway.
We just drop off the film and we go shopping.
I like this picture of Katie right here. Can you guys close up on that?
At Walmart.
Their quality is great and the price is right. It's definitely fun to see how the kids have changed. They've grown so much, and it's good that we have that in pictures.
Being a dance teacher really takes a toll on your skin, on your body.
Dove knows beautiful skin is healthy skin.
After a long day of dancing, my skin craves nourishment.
Dove Nutrium replenishes essential nutrients.
It makes your skin so soft.
We're at different ends of the music spectrum,
but actually we're the same color.
Nice and Easy Doc Auburn, number 112.
It works with my own tones and highlights.
It's natural color, all my own.
Nice and Easy by Clairol.
The Heartburn Hotel.
If you suffer persistent heartburn 2 days a week or more, despite diet change and treatment, it may be acid reflux disease. Prescription Prevacid can mean 24-hour relief from acid reflux disease. Prevacid turns off tiny pumps that produce acid. It has a low occurrence of side effects, such as diarrhea, abdominal pain, and nausea. Ask your doctor if Prevacid is right for you.
So leave your heartburn behind, yeah!
Come closer. You brush, so you can't have denture odor, right? Wrong. Brushing can miss odor-causing food particles. So use Polident. Polident powers away food particles brushing misses. See? Polident for better odor control.
I ate Quaker oatmeal for 30 days. They tell me it actually works to remove cholesterol from your body. Pulls it right out. Helped clip my cholesterol 15 points. That's a whole bunch. Quaker oatmeal warms you heart and soul.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me, 'cause you heard the design as I'm angry. 5 days since you laughed at me, saying, together, come back and see me. Today, you've forgiven me, but it'll still be today till I say I'm sorry. Like vanilla, it's the finest of the flavors. Gonna see the showcase and you know the girl goes at my door and they don't bang your wrist. You'll have to sign a waiver. I have a tendency to wear my mind up my sleeve. It's been 1 week since you looked at me, dropped your arms to the side and said I'm sorry.
November 29, 1999, Helms-Biden becomes law, promising the UN America's overdue bills will be paid if the UN makes changes. It does that and more, even naming an inspector general to cut waste. But we don't pay. Then the Senate votes to pay the bill, and the House too. Now, 2 years after Helms-Biden, congressional gridlock still stops payment. Before President Bush makes his first speech at the UN, Congress should honor our commitment and pay the UN bill. Great nations keep their word.
We've been joining hands to wail with you about the fact that we've all been spending so much more time stuck in traffic while commuting to work. Well, we turned to our science editor, Michael Gillen, to ask him, so who's going to do something about it? And what can they do? It's our American Family Report.
It's a bumper-to-bumper commute this morning. It is very tough out on all the roadways.
It's slow going on the nation's highways, and no wonder. Up to 80% of all commuters drive to work solo. That's a lot of cars. Carpooling can help a little. So can mass transit. And telecommuting, people who work at home. But according to Georgia Tech traffic researcher John Leonard, there's no easy solution. Not even widening our freeways will fix things.
In the short term, actually in the very short term, adding a couple more lanes is going to screw everything up, because you've got to shut down the regular freeway to add the additional lanes.
Besides, Leonard says, congestion is not caused just by roads with too much traffic, but by drivers who are too distracted.
Someone loses their concentration, they drop a pen, they pick up the car phone, they spill a little bit of coffee, they lose that alertness and tap the brake.
It's a domino effect. When that one person hits the brakes, every car behind him does the same. Enough to create one doozy of a traffic jam, says engineer Sam Schwartz.
If you're operating near 2,000 vehicles per hour per lane and somebody spills their coffee, you go straight from 40 miles an hour to 15 miles an hour. And if it's at the beginning of the rush hour, you have just delayed another 18,000 cars just because you spilled your cup of coffee.
It's what scientists call phantom congestion. Phantom because when you're in the middle of that congestion, you don't see any obvious cause for it. There's no breakdown, no accident. 1 minute the traffic is flowing smoothly, next minute it comes to a screeching halt. Then just as suddenly, it starts flowing again, leaving you wondering, what was that all about? Then there's congestion caused by quirks of human nature. Drivers slow down instinctively when the road curves, when the lane narrows a bit, when the slope of the road changes by as little as 3 degrees, or when there's a nearby accident. You know, rubbernecking.
The high-performance automatic steering system gives a very smooth ride.
So what's the solution to congestion, phantom or otherwise? Smart cars like these, say scientists, where computers, not distracted drivers, are in charge. Not very comforting.
The fully automated travel of the AHS vehicle relieves the driver of the chore of steering.
And here's another idea. Huge automated centers like this in Atlanta constantly monitor the flow of traffic. It's like a weather center, says John Leonard. Why not use all that data to make traffic forecasts, to predict tomorrow's traffic temperature?
If we can provide traveler information to travelers ahead of time so that they know that tomorrow's going to be a really bad day or a really light day, they can make plans accordingly.
We don't need a traffic thermometer to know the future of commuting looks pretty bleak. Already, many of us spend almost as much time stuck in traffic as we do on vacation. So maybe we should look at traffic this way. It's the leisure time we were all promised by modern science.
Yeah, sure.
Put a good spin on it, don't
Yeah. So Michael Gillen's here now. For the person getting in the car this morning still and tomorrow, what's the best thing out there to help?
It's tough, but I would say there are two internet sites, traffic.com and mapquest.com. Both of them basically offer you the latest traffic information along the routes you're going. You'd have to check on it before you get into the car. Eventually in the future, they're going to bring that information into the car through your cell phone by giving you alerts through the Palm Pilots or pagers. You look further into the future, scientists are trying to bring together radar units, GPS, the global positioning satellite, surveillance satellite data, bring that all into your car and hopefully get you there fast.
So that your car will know where the traffic is and just avoid it.
Yeah, you can say to the car, I'm going to the airport, what's the best way to go? And all this data gets assembled and it's told to you by a voice in your car, whispered in your ear.
We should live so long, and
Yes.
maybe we will. Who knows? We'll be back, and we're going to hear from A.J. McLean about coming out of rehab and being back with the Backstreet Boys.
Good Morning America's American Family is brought to you by Kmart.
At Kmart, our blue lights lower prices every day. Down to Kmart for low prices. That's Blue Light always.
No film, no residue, just soft, smooth skin. Olay Complete Body Wash with soap-free cleansers and aerated moisture that rinses clean. Complete Body Wash for the lightly moisturized feeling of clean.
Quitting smoking? Here, taste this.
Nicorette Orange. Only from Nicorette.
Now this just may be a flavor I can quit with.
Sometimes victory's so close.
You can taste it.
You can do it. Nicorette Orange can help.
For a great car at a great rate, call or click Thrifty.
Wouldn't it be great if Bounty came in a box? Ta-da! Incredibly practical, practically invisible. New Bounty in a box. It's Bounty in a box.
My restaurant was opening in just 1 hour, but my headache was running the kitchen. I needed relief in a hurry. A big hurry. So I grabbed some Advil liquid gels. They get the strength of Advil into my system fast. They're even faster and better on tough pain than Tylenol. With Advil liquid gels, I was back in control, just in time.
Take Advil liquid gels and take control.
That's your new Kia Sophia?
Yep. Got it at Kia September clearance event. Well, I love my Toyota Corolla. I just got AC installed. AC came standard with ours. Power windows, power locks. Standard and standard. Does a 5-year warranty come standard? No. Figures. But a 10-year warranty does. Plus, we got $1,500 cash back, which means we paid about $2 grand less than you. $2 grand. Oh, my. Oh, my gosh. Honey, are you okay?
Get amazing deals on 2001 models during Kia September clearance event. Hurry, event ends October 1st.
Why do the 4 giant Bell phone monopolies want toes and dingles so badly? How about this? Section 4A states, neither the FCC nor any state shall have authority to regulate the rates, charges, terms, or conditions for any high-speed data service. Toes and Dingle will turn the 4 Bell giants loose on America and then prohibit the FCC and all 50 states from protecting us. So, this is why our parents told us to read the fine print.
As we were mentioning earlier, the Backstreet Boys are back. The band, as you know, took a break from their world tour this summer so that bad boy A.J. McLean could go through rehab for alcoholism, exhaustion, depression. So they took a 6-week hiatus, but the band is back. In between sold-out shows, they stopped at a New York recording studio last week to join some other artists on a charity record, and our Lara Spencer had a chance to catch up with them.
It was almost 2 months ago to the day that the Backstreet Boys rocked the music world with the news that bad boy A.J. McLean was battling depression and alcoholism.
It's not about the group itself. It's about his life and who he is. And that's the most important thing.
A.J. spent 6 weeks in rehab, and now the entire group is back on tour and back in the studio. Taking a cue from the pop stars in the mid-'80s who got together to fight hunger in Africa. All of the Backstreet Boys, including A.J., are helping battle AIDS in Africa by participating in an all-star remake of Marvin Gaye's classic, What's Going On.
There's too many of you dying.
It's a good cause. I mean, there's the AIDS epidemic, especially over in Africa, is tremendous.
I think What's Going On was the perfect song to pick.
You do?
I really do.
Yeah, I mean, when you actually hear the lyrics and you just the whole subject title is very appropriate for modern times about what's going on in the entire world.
Now, would you guys have agreed to do this if A.J. was still away recovering? Would you have been a part of this?
I think you want to come and do it.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I mean, I think the fellas would have found a way to make it work. Yeah, they would have made a conscious decision, you know. I'm sure we all would have still talked as a group and figured out, okay, what's going to be the best things that we all benefit from this somehow. So, but you know,
it ain't happening. So.
Yeah. But I'm back, so it works perfectly.
Right.
We're all together. Today, 64 days sober. I'm proud of myself. Thank you.
You said 64 days. You were very proud of that. Are you counting every day?
Counting every day. Every single day. Go. Today would be 65, so every day, it's like having my birthday every day, basically. So.
They are back. It is now 9 minutes before 8. We're keeping an eye on Good Morning America commuters. 127 million of you out there headed for work, and our commuter now 31 minutes. Mike Macchiarola, 31 minutes and counting. We hope still he makes it here before the end of the show. We'll be back.
The Heartburn Hotel. If you suffer persistent heartburn 2 days a week or more, despite diet change and treatment, it may be acid reflux disease. Prescription Prevacid can mean 24-hour relief from acid reflux disease. Prevacid turns off tiny pumps that produce acid. It has a low occurrence of side effects, such as diarrhea, abdominal pain, and nausea. Ask your doctor if Prevacid is right for you.
So leave your heartburn behind.
Derek Zoolander had the perfect life until they gave him a new one.
Some dudes brainwashed Derek off as Prime Minister of Micronesia.
Malaysia.
Right. But can mind control work on a mind this simple?
You're a killing machine. That is not true. Yes, it is, Derek. Okay.
Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, and Will Ferrell.
They're breakdance fighting.
Zoolander, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, September 28th everywhere.
From spring to fall, it's in the air. It's allergy season. That's why there's Claritin, for 24-hour non-drowsy relief. Claritin has a low occurrence of side effects, such as headache, drowsiness, fatigue, and dry mouth, similar to sugar pill. So from the time you warm up early in the morning, through those extra innings late at night, when the ump yells, "Play ball!" you'll be ready. Talk to your doctor about Claritin.
Yoplait. It is so good. And now, it can be so good for so many. For every pink lid you send in, Yoplait will donate 10 cents towards the fight against breast cancer. Up to $500,000. It's a goal we can reach together. Save lids to save lives. It is so good. Yoplait.
Would you rather have your car or a cleaner environment?
A cleaner environment.
You'd rather have a cleaner environment than a car.
Come on, Trish.
We are married.
No.
It's hard to believe, but
She
we are.
wouldn't rather have a clean environment
Yes, I would.
in the car.
Yes, I would.
I don't believe
I'm
it.
sorry, it's true.
How much of it, in what degree would
I
you
wouldn't want to
be
be
clean?
without a car. I love having a car, but if I had to choose between that and a clean environment, of course I'd
Then why don't you give up a car? if that's
Because
true?
I haven't been asked to yet. Yeah, we never talk politics anymore.
Good Morning America is brought to you by Wjla.
So our commuter's on 287. He's headed for the George Washington Bridge. He's about a third of the way, making pretty good speed. He's in the 89 or the 99 Jetta down there. You can see him. Just pick him out there. That's Mike Wjla down there. You can tell his car.
So far, his temper's intact. He starts singing when he's in big trouble. Well, coming up, can reality TV get any more reality TV? Yeah,
not.
And we'll tell you coming up.
This week, why are people who already have money getting government handouts? Plus, the government pays for meals, but school kids aren't being fed. Following the money trail on World News Tonight.
Let the games begin. An all-new Millionaire Sports Edition. Gordon, Elway, Betch, Young, and more. Are we to the million yet? A whole new season. Monday Night Football. Giants versus Broncos. It's coming! The toughest night on television kicks off tonight, 8/7 Central on ABC.
Proud to be on your side, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Good morning, Washington. It's good to be with you. I'm Don Hudson. It is 7:56, 75 degrees. Your traffic and your forecast coming up in just a moment. First, the news. The region is abuzz with whispers of a possible quarterback controversy after Josh George was yanked from the game yesterday against the Chargers. Redskins lost to San Diego 30-3. George had a couple of interceptions. And Prince George's County Police Chief John Farrell is being criticized this morning for not attending some meetings in the county to try to mend fences between the community and the department. Time now to check in with Mickey Scarlotta one more time and see exactly what's going on out on the roads this morning. Mickey?
Good morning, Don. We had an earlier accident out of loop of the Beltway at New Hampshire Avenue. That's completely gone, but your backup is not. Your delay begins at 95 all the way down towards Georgia Avenue. Right now, here's a live picture how we look. It's bumper to bumper slow here at New Hampshire Avenue, but all your lanes are now open. Now let me take you live, headed over the inbound 14th Street Bridge, leaving 395. As you can see, the far left-hand side of your screen, that's the express lane bridge. We have an accident over there. It's tying up the right side of the roadway, so very slow traffic in the express lane bridge going over the 14th Street Bridge, but the main lanes, all your lanes are open, but very heavy volume, rubbernecking delays. Now let's go to Alexandra with the weather.
Thanks, Mickey. Overcast skies. We've seen a few sprinkles, but it is warm as you head outside. 75 in town, 73 at Dulles, but the dew points are high, so a lot of low-level moisture. Had a little bit of fog, but that'll quickly burn off. Lunchtime could pick up a little bit of sunshine, but from afternoon through evening, we will see the passage of a cold front, and with that, triggering off a few showers and thunderstorms. So grab your umbrella as you head out the door. We clear it out, though, by bedtime tonight. Mostly sunny tomorrow and Wednesday, with comfortable temperatures in the upper 70s and low 80s. Don?
All right, Alexander, thank you. We'll see you again with news, traffic, and weather at 8:25.
While progress should never come to a halt, there are many places it should never come to at all. So we work locally with communities, businesses, and people like you to save precious places around the world, forever. I'm Paul Newman. Help the Nature Conservancy save the last great places.
Having just one way to express yourself can be frustrating. That's why Singular Wireless offers a range of airtime options. Choose two and create your own plan. Sign up now and get a deal on a cool Nokia. Singular Wireless. What do you have to say?
I wrote this song on the back of a Dixie cup. Money talks, but it don't sing and dance and it don't walk. As long as I can have you here with me, I'd much rather be forever in blue jeans. I'm in blue jeans. Do you get it? Forever in blue jeans, babe.
This looks promising. I didn't even know these homes were here.
Get your free copy of New Homes Guide. Call 1-800-999-9947.
Kathleen Matthews and the ABC 7 News team, proud to be on your side.
So this morning we continue our look at commuting chaos, the planes, the trains, the automobiles we ride every day. We Americans drive 2.7 trillion miles. 2.7 trillion miles every year. I just do 1 trillion, the rest of you do 1.7.
And as we said, we're sitting in traffic more and more. So I think the solution is simply for everybody to get up with Charlie and me at 4 in the morning. We all go into work at that hour. You zip right along. See?
Well, the easier solution
I'm a problem solver.
is sleep late, get up, watch Good Morning America for 2 hours, and then sort of ramble in around 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Good Morning America. I'm Charles Gibson.
I'm Diane Sawyer, and it's Monday, September 10th, 2001. And in addition to commuting this morning, we're going to do a quick check of reality TV and tell you
how real it's getting.
Well, how something is getting. Just when you thought you could go back in the water, it's gotten even more exciting out there on reality TV.
Exciting in quotes, right?
I know, you're looking at me because I love it, he hates it, and he thinks he's taking a stand for civilization, and I think he's a dork. So,
well, maybe that's you taking a stand for civilization with that statement right there. Also, the firefighters 2 months ago in Washington, 4 firefighters lost their lives, 1 fire. There's a report out very soon on why that fire killed those people or why those people were there and couldn't get away. And we're going to talk to 1 firefighter who was actually in the fire, did escape, and try to get some sense from him of what happened. But we do want to continue our commute coverage. Mike Macchiarola set out from Bridgewater, New Jersey, headed for work. We've got GMA written on the top of his car. What's the clock now? How long has Mike actually been driving? Can you put the clock up? 41 minutes and 43 seconds. And Mike, what highway are you on now?
I'm on Route 80 right now, going eastbound.
All right, so headed for the GW Bridge.
Yes.
I'm curious, Mike, why? I mean, I know Bridgewater pretty well. As you said, 50 miles from where you work, about 52 miles.
Right.
Why do you do that? Because New York commuting is so notoriously bad. Why do you make the sacrifice and live that far away?
Well, I heard a lot of times about the quality of life out where I live, and it's true. Once out there, it's terrific. But it's the commute getting back and forth. My children love the area. My wife and I love the area. It's quiet. And I come originally from New York City, from Staten Island. It is a different way of life entirely, and we love it. But it's just a tough way of getting here.
Well,
there's no good way.
We should tell everybody you're just getting ready to head into the really tough traffic, and we'll check back with you. By the way, he studies Japanese in his car, so we're going to ask him to speak a little Japanese that he's learned while commuting for us. But also, as we know, every day is another painful challenge for people who have long commutes. And so this morning, we thought we would give Mike a little help. Well, we thought specifically that we would have Joe Nolan, who is the great traffic reporter for WABC, give him a kind of personal traffic report to keep him on his way. Hey, Joe.
Good morning, Diane. Hey, Charlie. How you doing?
How are you, Joe? He can hear you, so tell him what he's facing.
Well, you got troubles. Yeah, actually, there's a couple of things yet. First of all, right by Route 17, which is probably, it looked like he was out in the Parsippany area from what the chopper shot just showed us. Yeah, he is. He's just coming up towards, he just merged in where the local and express, and now he's got a good shot here to Route 23. And then once he gets past Route 23, he's going to start to slow down. From the Parkway in through Route 17 is an ongoing construction. That has been there for a while. And then we can show you, I believe, the George Washington Bridge inbound from our shot from Channel 7. And that is not going to to be good this morning. There's about a 20-25 minute delay already there. By the time he gets there, that'll probably be up to 40. And there really isn't anything he can do, because if he goes to the Lincoln Tunnel this morning, he's going to run into this. Bumper to bumper, stop dead traffic all the way on out to almost to the Jersey Turnpike, which is about a 45 to 50 minute delay. And also, once he gets into the city, heading down the West Side Highway, already there was an accident right at the George Washington Bridge. They've got that out of the way, and then below it, down on the 130s, there's another accident.
You're a bundle of good news.
Oh, yeah, yeah, he's going to love me.
What's your one piece of advice for commuters?
You know, you were kidding around before about leaving early.
Yeah.
Leave early. I mean, at 6 o'clock in the morning at the Lincoln Tunnel, there is no delay. At 7 o'clock, there's a 40-minute delay. So if you can get there earlier, that's the one thing. And then the other thing, too, is alternate routes. People are always afraid to get off of the main highways for whatever reason, right? But, you know, they don't know where they are, or maybe they're afraid to get lost. One of the things you can do, and I've done this, you know, and it's funny because, again, I'm a traffic geek, so I do things like this. But if you are going to be traveling around, one of the things you may want to do is on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning, go your commute into work. I know that's the last thing you probably want to do, but do it. Get off the main roadway. Get off the Route 80s of the world and travel the side roads and the secondary roads, and find your way back and forth in a couple of different places. And one day it may save you an awful lot of time and aggravation. And you know, that's part of it is too, Charlie and Diane. It's a quality of life thing. You know, if you're not in traffic, there's a lot less stress.
That's actually a good piece of advice for people to try the alternate routes.
Yeah, try them
on the weekend, right?
And we'll console Mike, because we have a woman who commutes 700 miles every day coming up after the news. But for that, we'll go to the ABC News Desk. No kidding, 700 miles.
Thanks, Diane. Good morning to all of you. A Sacramento security guard wanted for the murders of 5 people over the weekend took his own life this morning after a shootout with police. 20-year-old Joseph Ferguson is believed to have shot to death 4 former co-workers, including his ex-girlfriend, plus another man. Ferguson led police on a 40-minute chase, shooting a highway patrol officer and a bystander during the pursuit. Police say Ferguson had made a video saying he would not be taken alive.
His message was that he was going to shoot it out with the police officers. He was prepared that if along the way he was wounded and bleeding, he was going to commit suicide. And we believe that that's pretty much how it concluded.
Police say Ferguson told former co-workers he wanted to go on a bloodier rampage than Nikolai Soltis, the man accused of killing 6 family members in Sacramento last month. Only minor damage is reported from a 4.2 magnitude earthquake that shook the Los Angeles area late yesterday, but seismologists warn it could be the precursor of a bigger quake. Last week's gloomy unemployment report not only roiled world markets, it has spurred lawmakers to look for ways to stimulate the sluggish economy. The White House says it will take time for interest rate cuts and the president's tax cut to take effect. But as the economic picture continues to darken, some members of both parties are talking about even more tax cuts.
We can do some things to revitalize the economy. We can and could, and I believe should, cut capital gains tax from 20% to 15%. That would help the market. That would really rejuvenate the economy. When we cut capital gains rates from 28 to 20%, it raised a lot more money than people anticipated.
Fiscal stimulus can take one of 2 forms. It can be spending or additional tax cuts. And we may need additional tax cuts to give lift to this economy if we see continued weakness.
But Senate Majority Leader Tom Daschle is wary of more tax cut. He says the president's cut is the main cause of the economy's current problems. The Florida election that put George W. Bush in the White House is still making headlines. According to a new book by Newsweek reporter David Kaplan, Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer angrily denounced the court's decision as, quote, the most outrageous, indefensible thing the court has ever done. And Kaplan says another dissenter, David Souter, believes the court could well have gone the other way, telling a group of students he could have swayed Justice Anthony Kennedy if he'd had one more day to make his case. Competency hearings get underway this week for Andrea Yates, the Texas woman who drowned her 5 children. According to the New York Times, Yates's medical records show she suffered from periods of suicidal depression and psychosis so severe she would become mute and catatonic and would pick at her head until bald spots appeared on her scalp. At the time of one of her suicide attempts, Yates and her family were reportedly living in a converted Greyhound bus. That's a look at the news at 8:08. Time now for the weather and Tony Perkins. Hi, Tony.
Good morning, and thank you very much. Let's get right to it. Show you some of the weather highlights for today around the nation. We're going to be starting with the satellite radar composite. Shows you some of the thunderstorms that moved through Michigan yesterday, where 2 tornadoes were spawned, including one in Potterville, not too far from Lansing. And you can see we still see some showers with that system along a cold front. That's going to trigger some rain in portions of the eastern United States. Dallas today, high of 86. Denver 83, Los Angeles 75. We'll see some rain in Northern California and some rain in the eastern U.S. That's a look at what's happening with the weather around the nation. Now, here's what's happening in your neighborhood.
Good morning. We have cloudy skies, a few showers coming in from the south and west, but it is warm as you walk out the door this morning, more like a typical August morning. This afternoon, we will see a line of showers and thunderstorms move through, so grab an umbrella as you walk out the door and brace the warmth this morning. But the storm system will quickly move through this cold front through the overnight hours. Mostly clear tonight, becoming mostly sunny tomorrow and 82 degrees. Mostly sunny as well on Wednesday, 79. Just a great stretch after the storms this afternoon.
That's an update on the weather. Charlie, back to you.
All right, thanks, Tony. We have been talking about commuting all through the morning. You think your commute is bad? Meet Laura O'Brien. She commutes 700 miles every day.
Eric, it's Laura.
Laura O'Brien is up at 3:30 every morning to get ready for work.
I've opened up to all the emails that came in last night from Asia.
She's a 43-year-old real estate broker, helping high-tech companies find and build office space all over the world.
So everything is organized. Need right away, probably will need, may not need.
Organization is essential because once Laura leaves home for work, there's no turning back. She commutes 350 miles to her clients every day, not by driving, flying. Every day, it is a race against time.
Mom, pop your trunk.
Laura's mother or father give her a lift every morning to Burbank Airport, just 7.5 minutes away.
We're on the back way to the airport. We're running about a minute behind. Here we go to the gate. And we're running a little bit late, so I'm going to have to move. Whoops, sometimes your bag gets out of control. I'm going to have to move quickly here.
Laura has been commuting 700 miles round trip, Burbank to San Jose, for the past 4 years.
Well, really bad news. They bumped my seat, the flight's oversold, and this doesn't happen very often, but I am not going to make it, it looks like, which means I'm going to miss my first meeting today.
Meetings are her mission. Laura is a senior vice president negotiating with contractors, landlords, builders, and brokers in San Jose. When she misses her plane, she works at the airport while waiting for the next flight out.
Thank you very much. Well, life is good again at 7:30. I found a quiet spot. Flight's at 8:20.
Once in the air, it's a 48-minute flight. Time to work and eat.
Just a plain bagel with a little bit of peanut butter. And then in my purse, I have an apple and a bunch of power bars.
After landing in San Jose, Laura immediately looks for a place to plug in her laptop computer. She likes the fact she has no office and freedom to work at her own pace.
Ta-da!
But Murphy's Law is looming. This morning, the car rental company at San Jose Airport lost Laura's reservation.
And I don't know why.
Another delay, but the car company made it up to her with a Jaguar.
Let's hope this happens more often.
Laura faces morning rush hours in Burbank and San Jose every day before she faces a rush of meetings.
Do we have new storefronts?
Her commute would be a lot easier if she would just relocate to San Jose. It would save her realty company $75,000 a year for her airline tickets, rental cars, and cell phone calls.
Why go through all that disruption? Clients don't mind, I don't mind, and neither does my family.
Her husband, Peter, supports her.
My sense of this is that she gets to be engaged doing something she loves to do. And that's fulfilling. If she's fulfilled, I'm fulfilled.
The O'Briens admit they'd stop all this if they had kids at home, but they don't. Laura's a stepmom to Peter's grown children.
When I met my husband 22 years ago, I wound up with a 9-year-old and a 14-year-old. Who are now 31 and 36, and I have 3 grandchildren.
She's willing to put herself through this commuting marathon so that she can return every evening to her husband, her parents, her 3 sisters, her roots in Southern California. But getting home at a reasonable hour means she must take the 5:30 flight out of San Jose.
The door of the plane is right in front of me. If that door closes, that's it. It's an absolute positive barrier to me getting home tonight and sleeping in my own bed at the time I planned.
But she made it. The 700-mile daily commute always ends with Laura's husband waiting outside the Burbank terminal for their 7.5-minute ride back home.
This is the face I like to see when I get off the plane at the end of my day. When I land on Fridays, I am pretty beat and resurrect myself over the weekend, basically to do it all again. Thanks, bye.
And our commuter, Mike Macchiarola, 53 minutes into his commute, still moving smoothly on Interstate 80. There's the shot from inside his car. He travels by plain old car. Hey, how prosaic. It's now 8:14. We'll be back.
Everyone knows Santa Claus, but behind the magic is a massive global operation. This is Santa's Workshop 2001. We work with UPS to bring in raw materials, produce goods, wrapping paper, ground, overnight, international, you name it. Just this morning, I had a shipment of candy canes stuck in customs in Belgium. And one call to my UPS rep straightened the whole thing out. There have been instances where the naughty got toys and the nice got coal. But it's not going to happen on my watch.
Hi, how can I help you?
Yes, I'd like a set of Michelin cross-terrain SUV tires with white lettering. Please.
Sure.
Now at Sears Auto Center, all Michelin tires are on sale at the lowest prices of the season. Sears, where else?
New faster acting Dawn with flash sets. It powers through tough grease at a speed no other brand can touch. New faster acting Dawn. Get grease out of your way sooner.
That looks good. I love the camera. Work it. High fashion. You're so sassy.
Packed with protein and essential vitamins and minerals, Carnation Instant Breakfast from Nestle is serious morning fuel.
You're a jungle cat.
I have asthma. I also have a family. And carpool. And play dates. And 24 kids. Look, I might have asthma, but I also have a life.
Singulair helps you control your asthma. Singulair is different from many daily inhaled controllers. It's not a steroid, and it's a once-a-day tablet that can help control asthma for a full 24 hours. It also comes in a cherry chewable tablet for children 2 years and older. Singulair should not be used to treat acute asthma attacks. Continue taking your other asthma medicines unless your doctor tells you to stop or change the dose. If symptoms get worse, contact your doctor at once. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, flu, runny nose, and ear infection. For more information about Singulair, ask your doctor and ask about adding once-a-day Singulair. Singulair, asthma control that can help you breathe easier.
It's a fact. We need more side protection when we move. We need Always Overnight. Always wings are double the length of other wings to help protect where others don't, even when we move. Always. Expect more protection.
While Mike was putting up his own for sale sign, someone was helping his neighbors John and Diane with plans to sell their home. As Mike spent Saturday figuring out legal agreements and guessing his home's value, someone was preparing a counteroffer so John could help at the school fundraiser. And while Mike and his wife were reevaluating their asking price for the third time, someone was closing the sale on John and Diane's home. You've got a life. We let you live it. We're realtors. Real estate is our life.
So there's Mike Macchiarola, 57:38 into his commute at this hour and heading for the worst of the traffic still. Well, we're going to talk now about reality shows because last season everybody thought, now, finally, they've reached the bottom of the barrel. Some people said that anyway, Charlie Gibson. But Survivor 2, the Australian Outback, was last season's most-watched show. Get ready for a total of 16 new, all true-to-life shows, each one trying to one-up the other in danger, drama, and prize dollars. And our Lara Spencer takes a look.
Real people, conflict, sex, voyeurism, and no script.
Reality TV, it's sort of like this bag of candy. You know it has no nutritional value whatsoever, but you also know you want more, don't ya? That's what programmers are banking on this fall in a big way.
Remember the Love Boat? Well, here's the Love Cruise. The maiden voyage sets sail on Fox, but don't look for your friendly cruise director, Julie McCoy, here.
You've hurt people maliciously.
It's like the dating game meets Survivor on a cruise, and total strangers either find love or walk the plank. For those of you who love to see dreams come true, check out A&E's Ultimate Reality, the show that takes 10 ordinary people and follows them as they fulfill their lifelong dreams on camera.
This is the coolest thing I've ever done.
On ABC, The Runner is a classic cat and mouse game. Brought to you by executive producers and Academy Award winners Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, the twist here is The Runner promises that even you at home can get in on the action.
Be a part of the biggest chase in TV history.
One person is on the run to complete their missions in a certain amount of time, and if they achieve them, they win. But if anyone from the public helps trap the runner, they can win the prize. Another fall reality show headed your way is Court TV's Rat Trap. Sort of like Cops, but more high-tech. Producers bait would-be crooks by leaving bags unattended in high-crime areas. Then hidden cameras catch the thieves red-handed. On NBC, they want you to get lost.
Where the hell are we?
6 teams dropped off somewhere on the planet must find their way back to the Statue of Liberty.
We're gonna walk, and I think we're gonna walk some more. And after that, we're gonna walk a little bit more.
They have no maps, no credit cards, no means of communicating. Whichever team reaches Lady Liberty first gets to split $200 grand. After taxes, though, is it really worth it? The Amazing Race on CBS is amazingly similar, but with a bigger payoff. 11 couples race each other from Central Park to South Africa for $1 million.
Hurry up!
Just because you put real people on TV doesn't equal a hit. So here are some of the shows you won't be seeing this fall.
Chains of Love have been broken, and Big Brother is no longer watching. But The Mole has burrowed its way back for season number 2 on ABC. Survivor, the show many believe started this craze, heads to Africa this fall. And Temptation Island, the show where couples must resist the ultimate urge, is back again on Fox. So what could they possibly think of next?
I can't do that.
What will they think of next?
Yeah.
What will they think of next?
Yeah, tune into European reality television. That is where producers get a lot of their great ideas. One of the funniest shows coming down the pike is, I think, called The Big Diet. And this is where they lock people up in a house. I think they got the idea from us. And you get to see them sneaking snacks. Whoever loses the most weight wins that amount of pounds in gold bars. So that's a fun one coming down the pike in Europe. And then there's another one called The Human Zoo, studying the animal in all of us. So, but
they don't put people behind bars, do they? In zoos?
Yeah, with like bales of hay, they get to eat. Yeah, it's great. Feed them bananas. No, I don't think so. I'm working on that concept myself. But these are the top
to take a Valium and go to bed now. At Kmart, our blue lights lower prices every day. Down to Kmart for low prices. That's Blue Light always.
If you suffer from heartburn caused by acid reflux, get Gaviscon. Gaviscon tablets become smooth and creamy, forming a soothing protective barrier that helps keep acid down. Gaviscon, relief from acid reflux without a prescription.
This will be an everlasting love. This will be the one I'm waiting for. This will be the first time anyone has loved me.
More women use orthotricycline than any other birth control pill. Taken correctly, it's over 99% effective, so you don't worry about getting pregnant till you want to. And orthotricycline is clinically proven to help clear up moderate acne. The pill does not protect against HIV or sexually transmitted diseases. Serious risks include blood clot, stroke, and heart attack. Cigarette smoking increases these risks, especially if you're a smoker over 35. Women who use the pill are urged not to smoke. Women who have blood clots, certain cancers, a history of heart attack or stroke, and those who could be pregnant should not use the pill. For more information, talk to your healthcare provider. If you're going to take the pill, why not take orthotricycline? Clinically proven to help your skin look better. Orthotricycline. Isn't it great to find the one that's right for you?
This will be.
Need help deciding? Go to thenewsteel.com.
100% pure. Absolutely perfect. Tropicana Pure Premium Grove Stand is made from only fresh oranges, never from concentrate. It's as close as you can get to the orange. Always has been. Always will be. Peel yourself a glass of Tropicana Pure Premium.
All done.
Yay! So what should we do for dinner?
Do you know what I've been dreaming about?
No.
An incredible beef stew with carrots, potatoes, tender beef slowly simmered for hours to bring out all the flavor.
No problem.
There's something new from Stouffer's. Slow Fire Classics. Slow simmered recipes so hearty they can only be served in a bowl.
Is this what you were dreaming about?
You're good. You're good.
New Slow Fire Classics from Stouffer's.
Proud to be on your side, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Good morning to you, Washington. I'm Carol Costello. It's 8:25, 75 muggy degrees, and grab your umbrella. Alexandra will have your full forecast in just a few minutes. In the news this morning, Prince George's County Police Chief John Farrell is being criticized for reportedly not keeping his part in attending church meetings with county residents. The Reverend C. Anthony Muse has been a harsh critic of the police department for its reported history of police abuses. Both men had agreed to try and hold meetings with the community and the police force to fix the problems. But Reverend Muse says Chief Farrell failed to show up Sunday and for another meeting last month. A D.C. woman has a firefighter to thank this morning after a close call on the third floor of her building. She was unconscious when firefighters arrived at the Cavalier Apartments in Northwest late yesterday afternoon. They quickly performed CPR on her before transporting her to the hospital. The fire was contained to the woman's apartment, which is where fire officials believe the fire started. After more than 4 years of renovation, an historic district building is home sweet home for the D.C. City Council. It was moving time over the weekend. Council members who moved out when the work began are moving back into the Wilson building at 14th in Pennsylvania. Other city workers will be moving into the building in the next month. And starting today, you will need to start hanging on to that loose change if you're headed for a payphone. Verizon plans to raise the price of a public payphone call from 35 to 50 cents. The nation's largest local phone company says it's not making as much money as it used to from its payphones, so it's hiking the prices. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with a check on traffic and weather, too. Stick around.
ABC7 News brought to you in part by Millennium Scan.
Wouldn't it be incredible to be able to clearly detect a serious health problem before it gets worse? Well, forget incredible. It's now a reality. With Millennium Scan, board-certified radiologists use the most advanced technology available to get the most detailed images of every part of your body, so they have a clear picture of the state of your health. There's never been an imaging process so thorough, so clear, and so revealing, and there's never been an easier way to protect your health. Call today or log on at millenniumscan.com.
If you just headed out the door, you'll want to know what's happening on the roadways. Let's check in with Mickey Scarlatta.
Good morning, everybody. Well, we have lots of slow traffic around there. Let me take you live right now to Maryland. Out of loop of the Beltway in Prince George's County near Route 4. We have an overturned vehicle in the right lane, so we have very slow traffic beginning at Route 5. Right now, here's a live picture. As you can see, the activity on the right side, very heavy goings, making your way from Branch Avenue past Pennsylvania Avenue. Now, let me take you live to the 14th Street Bridge. We have an accident inbound on the 14th Street Bridge in the express lanes over in the right lane. Very heavy volume beginning at the Pentagon on 395 all the way to this point. Let's go to Alexandra now with a look at today's weather.
Thanks, Mickey. Overcast skies. You can see that. I want to take a quick look at live radar this morning. Do grab an umbrella as you walk out the door. We will see some light showers around this morning. You can see just about to cross 81. We're seeing some rain. Also, a few scattered showers on 66. Quite scattered in nature this morning. But as we head through this afternoon, associated with the cold front, we will see a line of showers and thunderstorms move through. Here's your express forecast. Even going to see some breaks of sunshine around lunchtime. From afternoon till evening, though, showers and thunderstorms with a high of 84. We clear it out by bedtime tonight and set the stage for a beautiful 6-day stretch ahead. Carol?
Oh, sounds perfect. Thank you, Alexandra. We're going to send it back to Good Morning America. We'll see you again in 25 minutes.
Imagine a way to transform dull, ordinary hair discover soft, silky, beautiful hair with the heat-activated moisturizers in new ThermaSilk.
Vehicle history report. Extensive.
When it comes to buying a used car, do you really know what you're getting? Toyota does, because beyond getting legendary Toyota quality, dependability, and reliability, there's a few other important things you get too.
Like 6.9% APR financing up to 60 months on all certified used Camrys, Solaras, and Corollas. Toyota certified used vehicles. We're good on our words. Available exclusively at your Toyota certified used vehicle dealer.
Astrologer Howard Sheldon on the next Live.
Good morning, America. It's Monday, and I'm Diane Sawyer. Happy to have everybody downstairs with their signs, their babies, their waves.
Yeah, we got a big enough crowd. We can do the wave this morning. Good morning, America. I'm Charles Gibson. It's good to have you with us. This has been a bad summer for fires out west, the wildfires, and I think everybody remembers the fact that 4 young firefighters died in a fire out west this summer. And the families of those who gave their lives fighting that wildfire speaking out now as they await the official report on what happened. These young 4 firefighters who died were among the best and brightest, but did they get the best equipment and did they get the best training? We're going to talk about that this half hour.
And also, we're continuing to follow our intrepid commuter who is making his way to work this morning, Mike Macchiola. Let's see, he's now been 70 minutes and 46 seconds on the way, and there, well, you see how fast he's moving. Not.
He's on the approach to the George Washington Bridge coming into town.
Coming right into the city. Mike?
Yes.
Is this just every morning in your life?
It's every morning of my life.
So tell me about those signs that you used to have and you'd hold up in the windows. What kinds of things would they say to people?
Well, nice blinker, pal. You know, how about quit tailgating? I did this before I actually had children because I started to get a little carried away, and the people were getting carried away as well. So I had to stop that. There's just a little bit too much animosity on the roads. But it was everything. I used to also keep pennies in my ashtray, and every time someone would really like cut me off or do something that used to get me too irate, I used to ride up next to him, throw a penny at him, or throw a bunch of pennies in his sunroof or something. So it was.
Now you have the comparatively polite time spent of learning Japanese.
I am trying. I've been studying for about 2 weeks now, and this is something I always wanted to learn. Ohayo gozaimasu, which means good morning, America.
Oh, how nice of you. Thank you very much. But do you listen to, so you're listening obviously to Japanese tapes to try to learn the language. Did you ever listen to audio books as well?
I listen to audio books. In fact, I just completed The Hobbit and also Lord of the Rings because I was really looking forward to the movie coming out.
Ah.
And so I just completed them both, and I'm looking for some new material. Let me get around this tractor trailer right here and get in the Easy Pass lane.
Ah, all right.
Okay. We should remind everybody again that the average American spends about a week of their life just like that in a traffic jam.
Well, I'm glad you're filming this today because I always wanted to show my wife what I go through. She's at home, and she says, "What happened to you? It looked like I got into a fight every day." And Well, this is what I have to deal with.
A week of their life every year. Okay, we'll check in with you again.
And that's an interesting statistic you mentioned. It's not that you spend a week of your life commuting. You spend a week of your life stalled
and churning, acid eating your stomach lining. We know that.
Anyway, 73 minutes into his commute, we're hoping that Mike makes it to the studio before the end of the show, but I wouldn't put a lot of money on it. Let's get the weather forecast. Here's Tony Perkins.
All right, thank you very much, Charlie. Talk about commuting horror stories. One gentleman in our audience this morning, this is Greg Pompa from Las Vegas. You moved to Las Vegas, but you were working where?
I was working in L.A.
In L.A.?
Right.
So you went back and forth from Las Vegas to Los Angeles every day?
Every day.
How long of a commute was that?
4 hours in the morning or 4 hours at night.
4 hours? And why did you do this?
For a woman.
Love makes us do crazy things. Now, get this. Greg got to work, and what did you do all day for a living?
I drove for UPS.
Oh, man. You like to drive. And he's supposed to be at work right now. He'll get there as soon as he possibly can. Take a look at the maps. We'll show you how things are going to be shaping up for today. Severe storms are possible in portions of the Northeast, eastern New York State, New England. You want to watch out for that later on this afternoon. Humid in the south. We'll also see some rain in Florida and in Texas, and we could see flooding there. It'll be dry in the west, except in northern California, where we could see some showers and thunderstorms. High temperatures look like this. Highs will be in the 70s and 80s in most of the U.S. We'll see some 60s in the north. Phoenix will see a high temperature of 104 degrees. This is Rod Cowan with WOAY TV4. Where is that?
Oak Hill, West Virginia.
Say hi to everybody in Oak Hill, West Virginia.
Hello, everybody in West Virginia. Right. Normally they see me after you,
right now.
We're together.
So I don't know what you're going to see there. Here's what's happening in your neighborhood.
The weekend guy subbing in for that guy. Actually, West Virginia does have some showers and thunderstorms this morning. Grab your umbrella as you walk out the door. We do have a line of showers and thunderstorms moving through later this afternoon. We'll clear it out by bedtime and set the stage for a beautiful 6 days ahead.
And thank you very much. This weather report brought to you by Stouffer's Slow Fire Classics. Charlie, back to you.
All right, thanks, Tony. As most people know, I think 4 young people in the state of Washington sacrificed their lives this summer fighting a forest fire. They surely knew that they had signed on to a job that can be dangerous, but did they have to die? There's a report coming from the U.S. Forest Service. It's due out any day now, and it may answer that question. But meanwhile, as ABC's David Wright reports, the victims' parents and families are grasping for answers and clinging to memories.
You don't realize that as a parent what your kids are all about until they're not there.
Jessica Johnson was a great kid.
When she was like a year old and eating mud, and the picture I have of her just stuffing this mud in her face and that grin, it's like, Mommy, look what I did. It's so good, you know.
She was a natural athlete.
Come on, Jess.
With a passion for the outdoors and adventure.
I can remember her as a little girl, and she'd go, there's a fire truck, and she'd be so excited.
As a high school senior, Jessica learned to fight fires. But at 19, her dream job cost her her future.
It's hard. She was my best friend.
Jessica didn't die alone in this summer's deadliest wildfire.
I don't quite know what to expect.
Also killed Karen Fitzpatrick, age 18. Devin Weaver, age 21, and Tom Craven, married with 2 kids. He was 30.
All I want to do is just lie down on top of his grave and just be with him because I miss him so much.
Why was this fire so deadly? Was it because of the inexperience of the firefighters or misjudgments by their superiors, or was something else to blame? The Forest Service is just now wrapping up its report, and for the families left behind, desperate for some explanation, it's been an agonizing ordeal.
Where I'm standing is the road.
Karen Fitzpatrick's mother visited the site where her daughter died, armed with a video camera. She stopped by the road that was blocked by flames that day, the river where some jumped to escape a fiery death, the rocky area, now marked with a flag.
So it's been kind of an emotional time.
Here, her daughter and 3 others gulped their last breaths, with only their flimsy aluminum fire shelters to shield them from the inferno.
Tom, Jessica, Karen, and Devin won't come back except in our hearts.
Kathy is haunted by the last photo ever taken of her daughter by one of the survivors. That's Karen holding a camera above her head, getting a snapshot of herself on the fire lines. Moments later, she died.
This goes into our minds over and over again, and the parents. Why didn't you just get out of there when you had a chance?
Devin Weaver's parents haven't yet visited the fire site.
The site where my son died is not a happy place. Seeing that won't bring him back.
The Weavers hope the Forest Service report will address their belief that poor decisions forced their son and other rookies into a burning forest with no way out. They're troubled by allegations that aircraft wasn't requested soon enough to drop water, and that there may have been reluctance to get water from a river with endangered fish. Devin's mother wonders whether a stronger aluminum shelter could have saved her son, and why some shelters were on the road, others on the rocks.
We don't blame God for killing our son.
God didn't kill our son. Negligence killed our son. Devin and I were absolute best friends. We golfed together, worked out together, we camped together.
He had these $450 pair of boots that he bought specifically to fight fires.
Devin wore those boots and shot these pictures just before he died of asphyxiation.
There'll always be a big piece of us missing. You get up and you march through the day is what you do with the emptiness inside.
Tom Craven's parents cope by remembering what made their son happy. Rap music, German chocolate cake.
He loved Mom's potato salad.
Yeah.
Always Thanksgiving, Christmas, always had to take some home with him.
And sports, you know.
And sports.
He was a top college football player who married a cheerleader. Now she's raising their 7- and 4-year-olds alone.
My kids don't have their daddy. My biggest fear is that I'll be a bad parent or I'll make a bad mistake or I'll do something wrong. And that's when I start really missing Tom, going, honey, I need you back.
These families know they may never have all the answers, and they have to live with the fact that they never really got to say goodbye. Jody Gray last saw her daughter 1 week before the fire.
And for whatever reason, she turned my head straight. She kissed me on the lips. And I will never forget that. As long as I live. That was the last time I saw her. I look forward to the day that I can just hug and kiss my daughter again. I cannot wait for that moment. I'll wait for it, gladly, but I cannot wait to see her.
And joining us now here in New York is Nick Rice, one of the crew of the firefighters who was lucky to escape with his life on that day. Parents, families go through a lot of agony when something like this happens, but when you hear a father say negligence killed our son, it brings you up short. Was there negligence that day that put you into that fire?
See, every day thousands of firefighters are put into situations similar, and it's hard to say whether or not we should have been up there or not. I mean, we had, as far as I'm concerned, we had good reason to be up there, but with the extreme fire behavior that day, it was kind of uncontrollable what happened, you know? I mean, we were put in a bad situation.
When you say extreme fire behavior, what happened?
Just with how dry it was out that day and how hot and the temperatures, and usually fire doesn't behave that way, you know? I mean, the investigator is still wondering about why the fire actually went to that side of the canyon when it really should have gone up the west side of the canyon.
You were in a canyon with really surrounded by high ground on 3 sides. Only one escape route, right?
Yeah.
And then fire went across the escape route.
The canyon wasn't very steep, actually. I mean, as far as the road going up it wasn't all that steep. And both sides of the canyon were pretty steep. So, I mean, theoretically, the fire should climb up the hills on both sides. But the main fire was over on the west side of it. So, I mean, the way fire behavior works is the fire is supposed to go towards the main fire because the big fire draws in all that heat and everything.
When did you know you were in trouble?
Basically, didn't know I was in trouble until we were driving back down the road and saw the wall of flames across the road.
Why did you survive? How did you survive when they couldn't?
It was all, I mean, I think kind of luck, pretty much, you know? I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I don't wonder why I survived and they didn't, you know? I mean, I think every firefighter that survived up there wonders the same thing. And, I mean...
How far away from them were you?
Probably about 50 feet.
Did you have to use, we saw those aluminum shelters, which don't look too reassuring to me. Did you have to use yours to get out of the plane? You did?
Yeah, everybody did, yep.
Put it over you, just hunkered down. And it can take temperatures of how high?
I think it's like 500 degrees, and then the glue delaminates, and the gases from the glue can actually kill you inside the shelter. So, I mean, they're not foolproof, but I believe, I mean, they did help, because at least they kept the falling embers off my back and stopped from burning that way.
What do you expect the report to say? Do you have any idea?
I have no idea. Hopefully that some good will come out of it, and hopefully the families will feel complete enough out of the report.
Do you go back? I know it's seasonal work for you. Do you go back to firefighting next summer, or?
Yeah, I'm seriously considering it. I feel like I've got something to share with the rest of the firefighters after going through an experience like that, and I hope that, I mean, the whole Forest Service community can grow from this, and firefighters around the world, you know?
Nick Dreiss, thanks for being with us. Good luck to you.
Right.
I know that's a very tough situation to go through. I appreciate you joining us. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
ABC 7 is on your side
by making your mornings easier.
And it starts here with our Good Morning Washington promise. From the time you wake up to the time you walk out your door.
You'll get your full weather and traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 7s.
And in between, the latest news from overnight. What happened while you slept?
It's our promise to you.
Weather and traffic every 10 minutes on the 7s.
Plus the news from overnight.
It's the Good Morning Washington promise, and it's only on ABC 7. Proud to be on your side.
Excuse me.
I know, just back straight up.
Thomas's Bagels? Fresh bagels from Thomas's. Golden outside, perfect texture inside. Thomas's makes great bagels.
Thomas's. Fresh waffles from Thomas's. Fresh waffles in the bread aisle.
Thomas's Waffles with a fresh homemade taste. Crispy, soft. In taste tests, Thomas's fresh waffles beat frozen by 4 to 1. Please don't freeze.
Thomas's.
Active adults 55 and over are discovering the fun begins at Heritage Hunt Golf and Country Club in Gainesville, Virginia. Winner of the nation's best over 55 active adult community, and the fun never ends because home ownership includes golf and country club membership at no additional charge. Priced from the 200s, call 703-743-3000 for directions. Equal housing opportunity.
Why do the 4 giant bell phone monopolies want toes and dingles so badly? How about this? Section 4A states, neither the FCC nor any state shall have authority to regulate the rates, charges, terms, or conditions for any high-speed data service. Toes and Dingle will turn the 4 bell giants loose on America and then prohibit the FCC and all 50 states from protecting us. So, this is why our parents told us to read the fine print.
Take a step back from me before there's a misunderstanding.
Enjoying the view?
I'm warning you, I will not tolerate any more disrespect.
And stop shoveling it out.
Kim Delaney, Tom Everett Scott, Philly. Tuesday, September 18th at 10/9 Central on ABC. Viewer discretion advised.
Now he's West Wing's compassionate heartthrob, but once a Hollywood bad boy who almost lost it all.
I cannot imagine your heart pounding and you realize that it's all gonna, well,
Alcohol too much too soon. Now Rob Lowe tells how he got his career and his life back. A Diane Sawyer exclusive on Primetime.
So will he make it? Can he get here in time? Mike Macchiarola, commuting in from Bridgewater, New Jersey, trying to get to our studios before the end of the show. 86 minutes into his commute. He's out of his, well.
Hey, Mike, what's new down there?
Yes.
Where are you?
I can hear you.
Where are you now? West side?
96th Street.
86th Street?
Oh, you've got a long way to go. 96th Street.
He's coming down the West Side Highway, which runs right along the river here in New York. If you're wondering, by the way, it's because it's not good etiquette, nor is it legal in many places to be talking on a cell phone while you're in a car and driving. And Mike's got a headset on.
That's
so
right.
Both hands are on the wheel, right, Mike?
They are.
Okay, all right.
I usually have been pounding the wheel a little bit.
I want you to be good with the police, that's all.
So, Mike. Oh, they commented here in the van that I could really be, I could start a new career as a taxi driver, so.
Do you dream along the way what you'd be doing with this time if you weren't spending it on the road? What do you think you'd be doing?
I'd be spending it with my boys and my wife, actually. I'd be out working out and trying to take a little bit better care of myself.
Yeah, now you leave at 6 a.m.
I find a number of things to do.
You left a little late for us, I know, but you normally leave at 6 a.m. And what time do you leave work and get home in the evening?
Well, I usually let the traffic go by. So I've been working out with a buddy, Donnie, at work, and I leave the office around 4:30. I work out for about an hour, let the traffic go, and I get into my car around 6 or so, and I get home for 7:30.
So you miss breakfast with the boys, but you get to see them before they go to bed at night.
Well, I get to give them a quick bath and give them a bottle, and maybe my oldest son will stay up with me for a little bit, watch the Yankee game, and he's in bed, so I don't really get much time during the week.
Yeah, that's hard, but as he says, the lifestyle out there, worthwhile.
Well, these are the modern-day warriors, these commuters, as we've been saying. We'll check in again with Mike before we head off the air, but we'll be back after this break.
He's still trying to make it to the studio before we're done.
November 29, 1999, Helms-Biden becomes law, promising the UN America's overdue bills will be paid if the UN makes changes. It does that and more, even naming an inspector general to cut waste. But we don't pay. Then the Senate votes to pay the bill, and the House too. Now, 2 years after Helms-Biden, congressional gridlock still stops payment. Before President Bush makes his first speech at the UN, Congress should honor our commitment and pay the UN bill. Great nations keep their word.
CarMax.com has a great selection of used cars online. We carry nearly every make and model. Find a car from any of the thousands we sell nationwide and have it transferred to the store nearest you. CarMax, the way car buying should be.
You asked for used cars you can depend on, so we created CarMax, where every used car comes with a 30-day limited warranty and a 5-day money-back guarantee. We even offer extended warranties that protect you for up to 100,000 miles. CarMax, the way car buying should be.
Behind in the polls, Mark Early's launched false attacks on Mark Warner. The press says Early's taken the low road. His attacks are absurd, repulsive, ugly. Early's claims about Mark Warner are dead wrong. Fabrication, a smear. They insult voters. It's typical old-style politics. Mark Early, no positive plan. Negative ads that don't tell the truth. Virginia deserves better.
This is our classroom. It is where we learn, where we improve, where we succeed. It is our heritage, and this is our diploma. The Accord LX from Honda. Now lease a 2002 Accord LX for $239 a month for 39 months.
This week, why are people who already have money getting government handouts? Plus, the government pays for meals, but school kids aren't being fed. Following the money trail on World News Tonight.
Go, Mike. Go, Mike. Go, Mike. This was the portion of the program where we were supposed to be outside greeting Mike Macchiarola as he arrived at our studios, having finished his commute from Bridgewater, New Jersey to downtown New York. And as you can see, we're inside and he ain't here.
He's gonna be close.
He's getting close. He's getting close. Well, we're going to run outside.
And
Come on.
We'll either greet some cab driver who has no idea what we're doing, or we'll be able to greet Mike Macchiarola, who's now about 6-8 blocks away from the Good Morning America studios here in Times Square.
Here we
But
go.
he's got a lot of lights to get through.
Running outside. Running outside. Here we go. Here we go.
And there he is, not moving, 91 minutes into his commute.
Today, cable companies like AT&T control over 70% of high-speed internet connections because they compete under different rules than phone companies. Unless Congress acts, millions will be left behind or with only one choice, their cable company. Now a study says a delay in high-speed internet rollout could cost our economy $500 billion. Tozan Dingle guarantees access to inner cities and small towns and would add billions to our economy. It's time for real competition. Pass Tozan Dingle.
Vehicle history report, extensive.
When it comes to buying a used car, do you really know what you're getting? Toyota does, because beyond getting legendary Toyota quality, dependability, and reliability, there's a few other important things you get too, like 6.9% APR financing up to 60 months on all certified used Camrys, Solaras, and Corollas. Toyota certified used vehicles. We're good on our words. Available exclusively at your Toyota certified used vehicle dealer.
When Michael used to get asthma attacks, it was pretty scary. I'd stay home from work, we'd go to the doctor, and things would get better. At least until I saw the bills. Talk about scary. But now he's covered, and that's a load off my mind.
Every state now offers low-cost and free health coverage for kids. Even families earning up to $35,000 a year or more can get the card by calling 1-877-KIDS-NOW.
Call 1-877-KIDS-NOW, and you'll breathe easier, too.
Here's an ad for every politician running and every citizen who will vote.
Virginia used to spend more than half of its general fund on schools. Now it spends less than a third. Quality programs and quality teachers require quality funding. Ask your candidates what they'll do to bring brighter futures to Virginia's children. And listen carefully to their answers. Listen very carefully.
Morning. How'd you sleep?
Good.
I slept great. Must be that fresh mountain air, you know? Nothing like it. Oh, man.
Introducing the Wjla wagon, with room for 70 cubic feet of anything.
Ah, the great outdoors.
Good Morning America is brought to you by Tropicana Pure Premium Orange Juice.
So Mike Maciarola is coming off the West Side Highway. He's turning left onto 44th Street, and there is 44th Street, moving at a snail's pace. 44th Street, gridlocked, baby, gridlocked. More than 90 minutes into his commute, but that is what America faces every day. Bless their heart,
And
getting into work.
Let's just say, few of them with the good cheer of Mike Maciarola.
Mike, we got a cup of coffee for you when you get here. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Good things are happening. My heart is opening. I go to talk, I start to sing, yeah. Good things are happening. Good things are happening. I'm the deputy mayor of the world!
Alias, Sunday, September 30th on ABC.
This is Vinny Testaverde of the New York Jets. He donates his time to the United Way. Vinny is a magician on the football field.
Here, is that your card?
Nope.
Is this your card?
Nope.
On the football field, Vinny is a magician. Abracadabra.
Proud to be on your side, this is an ABC 7 News Update.
Good morning to you, Washington. 8:56, 75 muggy degrees. Grab an umbrella because we do have reports of scattered showers this morning. In the news, after more than 4 years of renovation, an historic district building is home sweet home for the D.C. City Council. It was moving time over the weekend. Council members who moved out when the work began are moving back to the Wilson building at 14th and Pennsylvania Avenue. And starting today, you will need to start hanging on to more loose change if you're headed to use a payphone. Verizon plans to raise the price of a public payphone call from 35 cents to 50 cents. Verizon says it's not making as much money as it used to from its payphones, so it's hiking the prices. Let's head out to the roadways. It's been a bear this morning. How about it now, Mickey?
You're exactly right, Carol. We've had a lot of problems over in Virginia. Now northbound 95.
very heavy and steady from Newington. Let me take you there live and show you what we have. Look at all this traffic on the left-hand side of your screen, not moving. We do have an accident northbound 395 at the George Washington Parkway in the right lane, and your delay begins right back here. Now let me take you live over to Montgomery County, Maryland, traveling southbound 270. Here's a live picture at the spur near Old Georgetown Road, making your way to the inner loop of the Beltway. Very heavy volume from Connecticut Avenue to Georgia. Now let's go to Alexandra with a look at today's weather.
Good morning, Mickey. Well, certainly a very muggy day. Let's get right to the live radar, and I want to show you where we are seeing some showers and some moderate heavy rain around. Just crossing the 81 corridor, moving from West Virginia in through northern Virginia, and some scattered just west of Washington as well. So your forecast for the day, expect highs today in the low 80s with some late day showers and thunderstorms once again. But then we'll clear out tonight, mostly sunny tomorrow and Wednesday with really comfortable high temperatures in the upper 70s and low 80s. Carol?
Pretty darn good. Thank you, Alexandra. Join us again for ABC 7 News at 5. You make it a great day.
Bring it in, fellas. There we go. Come on, hustle up now. Come on. Here we go. Oh, there you go. There you go. Hit the pad. Hit the pad. There we go. There we go.
For a fast appointment with a great doctor, call 202-877-DOCS.
Why the switch from toast to Thomas's English Muffins?
It was the Nooks.
Cranny. Nooks. Toast doesn't have any.
Thomas's tastes better than toast. It may be the Nooks or the Crannies.
Much better than toast.
Thomas's. So, what's your favorite Entenmann's? I bet it's the ultimate crumb cake. Makusula. She loves the cinnamon crumbs. Tata lava. It is moist. And you're icing about this one. Oh.
Entenmann's. What's your favorite?
Save with the lowest price ever on all Hoover uprights, like the Hoover Runabout Supreme, just $66.97, only at Kmart.
Our season premiere. This is bold. Next, Oprah.